Man in wrestling right here. Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream. It ain't no doubt. It ain't no doubt. Flair, bring that old cashmere coat out here. Gee, I love. Can't help it that I'm custom made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long. I
You know what I mean? You know, be a special Sunday edition of Midday Sports with Ron and Lunch Crew. Got my boy Dev, aka the Pigeon Lover,
Oh
aka aka
man,
by aka about to go back to Kyle Bowler days when it was terrible. Let's get into this, man. Let's get into this,
yeah,
man.
cause you starting on some shit already.
You know
We ain't
this.
gonna have this today.
You know.
We ain't
Always.
not gonna have this
You know.
today.
I
You
like to
talking
start.
about
It's a
some
DMV.
pigeon lover? No,
It's
no
the
way. You telling me you like a fake Statue of Liberty on your helmet? Is that what you telling me?
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? The DMV's in me. You know I like to talk my shit, man. But
Yeah, but you know your team got a fake Statue of Liberty on their helmet though. So
you know, there's a Patriot, man. It's a Patriot. I never see no Ravens in Baltimore ever in my life, man.
That cause I'm the way your team goes a lot. You don't go there
You know
to the
what I mean?
graveyard.
You know what I mean? I be out there. You know what I mean? I like me a chicken box out of Urban Ave. So you ain't talking.
See, that's that west. I mean, that's that east side, Doug. I'm straight west side.
You
You know
know what
what
I
I
mean?
mean? Straight west side. I don't know nothing but no Urban Avenue chicken box.
You know what I mean? I go to Frederick Avenue too. You know what I mean?
You got a little bit. I give you
You
a little
know,
pass. I give you a little
cultures.
pass.
I be in the Jamaican spot right there, cultures, and you know what I mean. That little checkers right there by the gas station. Don't you know what I mean? I'll be out there. I'll be
All
out there.
right, all right, all right. You got you. I give you a little pass, man. I give you a little pass.
But let's get into it, man. What do you like them see? What would you like the Ravens to drive? What the major positions you like to see them drive?
Number one is wide receiver. Most definitely, we gotta start there because as you see, it's some turmoil there between Rashad Bateman and Eric DeCosta. But most definitely, we most should start off in a wide receiver. We need somebody that can run routes, that can get open, that can create separation. I'm not saying that Bateman is not that guy, but right now with his injury history, it's not that guy right now. I believe Bateman can be that guy that can run routes, that can run all the routes that's in the tree. But with his injury, we don't get a full dose of him. You know what I mean? And then he always get one of them injuries that's most definitely longevity. You know what I mean? If he can find a way to number one, stop getting injured so much and be on the field to be more productive, we can see more of Bashar Bateman. But till then, we most definitely should start off with a wide receiver.
What do you think is the most polished receiver you would like for them to drive?
The one wide receiver that's not even coming out this year, I most definitely will like to draft Marvin Harrison Jr.
You don't like
He
Quentin Johnson out of TCU. You don't like TCU
I
rookie?
like him. He's big. He's physical. But the thing about it is, can he run routes? Can he create that separation? Not just on backyard plays. Can you actually create that separation on a slant? Can you do a 5 and go? Can you do a hitch and go? You know what I mean? Stuff like that is as long as you can create that separation, as long as you can run that route tree, then I take you all day. You know what I mean? But right now, as what we have in our wide receiver room, I don't believe we have true route runners. Maybe Bateman, like I said, but we need somebody that can actually run routes that can create that separation.
What's that? Chicago
No, we talking
No,
about Ravens. The Ravens.
Ravens. Oh, wait.
Okay.
What was he? A first rounder?
yeah,
No,
he
no,
was a
no.
he was
Yeah, he
a
was a
first
first
round.
round out of Minnesota. But I think y'all had
Minnesota ain't never had no receivers that can step into that light of a number
nah,
one.
nah. But they definitely need to get that offensive line, man. That offensive
Why y'all?
line to get
Why
better.
y'all get rid of Hollywood?
He wanted out. He
Why?
because we wasn't a throwing first team. As you can see with Greg Roman, he was a run first type of
Right.
offensive coordinator. Then even with the get your gadgets, it was always leading up to the run. The 3 tight end set, the double tight end set, it was always leading to the run, which is a good thing. But at the same time, when you're a wide receiver, you ain't getting. But the thing about it was when Hollywood said he wasn't getting enough thrown his way, that year before he left, he had 91 catches and 1,000 yards.
That's what I was confused about.
That also that same year he had over 20 drop passes. So you know what I mean. If he'd calculate those 20 drop passes, that means he's have over 100 reception years. So that part I didn't understand, but I did understand because we was a run first team.
So
So
who's
what
the
y'all
no?
signing
Go
with
ahead.
since we on that, there's a lot of questions going about the quarterback. Do you think that the Raven organization decision to give Falco, because they really don't invest in their offenses money wise, and do you think that their decision to give Falco that money back then affects their decision on giving Jackson the money?
A
Because
little bit,
when they gave Flacco the money, he didn't produce.
a little
It
bit.
backfired.
I think it's a little bit because you got to also think in the last 2 years Jackson didn't finish the season with it. You know what I mean? He was also hit with the injury bug also. But Cleveland, it's two things that goes into that. Number one, I think that the Ravens should have been tied up Lamar after that MVP season.
Yeah,
Once
I do
he got
too.
that MVP season, I believe we should have went on here and gave him that 5-year deal, and that would have beat Cleveland of what Cleveland did. Now
Yeah,
that Cleveland set that market, it's like,
they
well,
fucked the game up.
yeah. So now you kind of Lamar is looking at like, hold on, I understand Deshaun is the great talent in this league, but I already did something before this guy. I was MVP before this guy. You know what I mean? And you got to think Deshaun Watson had good talent around him. He had an Andre Johnson before he left up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
He had Arian Foster as a good running back before he left up out of there. But Houston could never just get out their own way. I don't know what was their problem during that time, but Houston just couldn't get out their own way. But yeah, Baltimore kind of set themselves up. But Flacco, that deal, yes, it's still haunting us to this day because we want to pay that quarterback, but at the same time, it's like, all right, Flacco, he was the Super Bowl winning MVP and he did what he's supposed to do. Then after that, we
They've
can't
been
really
struggling since.
we can't really name one thing Flacco really did for us
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah, there's another quarterback too that is in that same situation, waiting to see what's going to happen with each other.
Yeah,
I don't know who's the other quarterback.
You got Joe Burrow out here.
Jalen Hurts is up for it too
You
because
got Joe
they're all
Burrow,
looking.
Jalen Hurts. You got Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
It's a couple of more all out there that's now looking at each other's like, I'm waiting to see what he do. I'm waiting to see what he do.
Yeah.
And you got most teams like the Bengals is probably going to sit back and wait and to see what we going to do about Lamar Jackson, because you got to think Joe Burrow is going to run the case like, well, I took us to the Super Bowl with that bad offensive line.
Yeah. Joe definitely should be out of the young ones under the age, I guess Lamar, 25, 26. Him, Herbert, Hurts, and Jackson, them four should be the top highs, and they should be higher than Deshaun because they have way more accomplishments.
I agree with you on that, but
I think Deshaun got I think he's a better arm talent than the ones you named. I think people sleep on Deshaun Watson. You know what I mean? He should have been an MVP before too. You know what I mean? He got all the tangibles. You know, we see what he is. You know what I mean? I think he's the more pure passer than all the guys you named, except for Barrows.
He got all the physical tangibles, but does he have the mental tangibles of leadership and all that?
I think so. We see what he was. We see who he was in Houston with this, you know what I mean, with them that terrible organization.
We always see players that thrives in one system, but when they go to another system, it don't be the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, he wasn't impressive to me when he came back under his circumstances. Under his
Well, you should
circumstances,
know.
That's a lot of rust, though. That's a lot of rust.
Bro, you should know.
That's a lot of
Adelius
rust,
Thomas was one of them. He was
Who?
good with the Ravens. Adelius Thomas. He was good with the Ravens. But as soon as he got to New England, y'all paid that guy, and he was nowhere to be found after that.
But let me say this, though. Look at Matthew Judon. Y'all wasn't using properly.
Most definitely flipped them. Most definitely flipped.
He's
Yeah,
all
most
pro
definitely.
now. All pro. You know what I mean?
But that's defense.
That's defense.
That's the Ravens. It ain't hard for the Ravens. The Ravens find the Ravens in Pittsburgh. They keep their defense on point. So a playmaker, all they need is playmakers. You know, just to fit in, and it's a combined thing. But when you talk about offenses, there's just, you know, if the quarterback's ain't on point, the receiver might be on point, or the quarterback might be on point, like Deshaun, and he didn't have a lot of receivers that he worked with. Or let's say Brady. Brady didn't have no star receivers.
Yeah, I think Watson had D-Hop. He had Andre Johnson.
We talking about when they left. He still continued. He didn't have nobody but Steals, and he had a whole bunch of number 2 receivers.
I get you.
When Deshaun and all them lost, when Hop went to, you know, when he departed, and you know, when he got with Andre towards his end of his career, you know, he never had that number 1 receiver afterwards, or anything close to a number 1 receiver when Hops left.
But I still think, man, this over my eye test. I feel like, especially, all them brothers need to get paid. I think they hate on Lamar because he's so smart. You know what I mean? It's just him and his mom.
He defeated all odds because they said he couldn't make it as a quarterback, and he showed them that you got me fucked up.
Mm-hmm. And also, you know what I mean? He does his own contract. You know what I mean? He's his own agent. Him and his mom. They just get lawyers to check at that shit. They hate that. You know what I mean? That's beating the system. They want the agents to keep on making that money. You know what I mean? If this brother get $240 million, that's going to him.
So if Deshaun, out of all those 5, who we got? Deshaun already got his. You got Jackson. You got Herbert. You got the boy from Cincinnati, and you got Hurts. Who should be the top? Who's the top 5 paying?
Jackson got to be number 1.
Who?
Lamar Jackson's number 1.
He should be number 1.
He got to get paid now. He got to.
So he should be the last one out. Well, no. How many in contract negotiations?
I don't think that if I'm Lamar Jackson, I'm not waiting for Justin Herbert. I'm not waiting for Joe Burrow. I'm not waiting for none of them guys, because honestly, if you other than Burrow, out of those other guys, how would you pay them higher than Lamar or Deshaun? Like how could you? Because neither one, a lot of those guys didn't really accomplish. The stuff with Hurts, he got to the Super Bowl, but he lost. Just like Joe Burrow got to the Super Bowl, he lost. But Justin Herbert, he haven't been nowhere, and he has talented wide receivers out in Los Angeles, and he still didn't go nowhere. Now I believe it was the offensive coordinator that slowed him down a little bit.
He got a worse offensive coordinator now, Kellen Moore. That's even worse.
I'm not going to say that Kellen Moore is a little bit worse. I just think Kellen Moore just had to get out of Dallas. I just really think. I think Dak Prescott really put a shadow over Kellen Moore. Now, if Kellen Moore have a bad season this year, then I can agree with you on that. But I need to see. I need to see him outside of Dak Prescott, because Dak Prescott is not the guy right now.
He's not.
He is so under achieving right now, man.
Yeah.
Because I believe Dak Prescott should be in this conversation with the Lamar, the Joe Burrows, and stuff like that. But
and he's not.
Yeah, and
he's nowhere near.
Right, and it's just like, damn, like why isn't he that? And then when you look at his stats, it's all because of turnover. He's not making good decisions with the ball. So yeah, I gotta see Kellen Moore under Justin Herbert this year before I can actually.
And Hurts, he don't have the consistency. So
I don't agree with that.
He did one thing. He ain't got the experience. Experience is gonna bring consistency. Okay? Can he duplicate this next year?
I
That's
think
what I'm
so.
saying.
You got the right system.
I think so, but I think it's going to be a little tougher this
Right,
year.
but still, we've yet to see that. We can't base, Joe Burrows. He got consistency. Herbert got consistency of what he's been doing. Lamar definitely. But when it comes to Hurts, he don't have that consistency because he don't have that shit up under his belt. He had one great year. He had signs. So can you build off of that consistency? Me, 1 year doesn't make me. You got to have at least 2, 3. 2, but 3 straight years of doing the same shit and you getting better at whatever it is that you getting better at, yeah, then it's official for me. He just, he's not, he's impressive, but I'm like, he's not mind blowing. He'd be mind blowing. Jackson's mind blowing. Not Herbert, but the boy from Burrows, he's mind blowing because he's been consistent at doing what he's doing. But Hurts, no.
I think Jalen Hurts got a better deep ball than Lamar.
I do too. I agree with that. I kind of agree with that. But look who he got. Look who he throwing it to.
In the middle. I'm standing in the middle because when you got AJ Brown and Deontay Smith, it's kind of versus I got Mark Andrews, who's pretty much my deep threat right now because we don't have no wide receivers to put it out there. We haven't really seen Jackson true arm. Now when we did a couple of years ago when Miami was having that downfall and he threw that deep ball to Hollywood, we was like, oh, Jackson got an arm. He's not a running back. Running backs don't put that out there like that. So
right.
I until I can see Jackson throw it downfield consistently, I'm gonna like what Jalen Hurts did this year. Then I can't really say that Jalen Hurts got a better deep ball arm than Lamar.
So what you think gonna be the end results? Because they're talking about the Jets and Lamar, not the Jets, Miami and Lamar.
Lamar's gonna be in Baltimore. Until I see otherwise, Lamar's gonna be in Baltimore. I just think that the Ravens, somebody had gave me this semi good idea. Maybe the Ravens, instead of trying to give him a 5-year contract, maybe the Ravens should do what Kansas City did with Patrick Mahomes and give him that 10-year contract. You know what I mean? And see, can he, and instead of trying to give him a 5-year to see what we're going to do in the next 5 years later, at least we got him tied up for the next 10 years. And all we asking out of those 10 years, at least bring us 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl win, and you play 8 years. I understand it's football, you're gonna have injuries, but I need you to play 8 years of football, kind of with no injury free.
That's not possible with his style.
Yeah.
That's not possible. He's gonna be in and out of the off and on the IR list.
But now
and
with Todd
he might miss a season.
but now with our new offensive coordinator, it's like now he's not putting quarterbacks in jeopardy to run all the time. And I understand like Lamar can use his legs, but we gotta understand that Greg Roman was the pretty much setting those runs up for Lamar. Now that we have a new offensive coordinator, maybe Lamar using his legs is not going to be the first factor now.
It can't be the first factor because he ain't gonna make it. Somebody ain't gonna make it. The offense coordinator or Lamar ain't gonna make it if that don't work out. But to give him a 10-year, to give a scrambler a 10-year, Kyle Murray, motherfuckers like that run. Man, that's not a wise. That's not a wise choice, financial decision.
But at least if you do give him that 10 years, that money is spread out. It won't be you trying to have that 5 year and you trying to hurry up and build a quick, fast team in that 5 years. You know what I mean? You trying to get a free agent here, you trying to draft here, then you gotta sit here and think eventually if Bateman start having a breakout year, his contract is going to be coming up. You know what I mean? So
that's a smart move. I agree with that.
It's just like a different scenarios you don't want to put yourself in within that 5-year span. You can just go ahead and spread it out a little bit.
Okay, I got you. I'm with you on that. That makes sense.
Let me ask y'all this, man. I don't think if I'm Lamar, I wouldn't sign a contract with y'all. Because y'all already proved to me you cannot get me the weapons I need. You can't build a solid line for me. Why would I sign with Baltimore? You know what I mean? When I can go to Miami, or I can go, you know what I mean? I can go back home and get a line,
See, now here's
some
where
receivers.
everybody keep talking about this Miami. Did y'all see Tua last year? Did anybody see Tua last year?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even with those games that you seen Tua, where was he at?
you still get a Tyreek Hill.
On his ass, on his backside, up throwing gang signs, having concussions every other game. So why would you go down to Miami to a team that they can't even block Tua?
All
So
right,
you
what
gonna
about
go
the
down?
Bucks?
So you gonna go down there? You
What
gonna
Okay.
go
about
down there?
How was Baltimore's line?
It was good. It was better than Miami's.
So we're looking at Miami, right? Now, Buffalo, Miami's line isn't as good as Baltimore's line, but Miami got way better weapons than way better toys to play with than
And
Baltimore can ever imagine.
that was supposed to save Tua. What happened to all those weapons at the end of the season when they went 0-4 in December? When they
It
went
starts at the line.
0-2 in January?
It starts with the line.
Where was those weapons at?
He
You
couldn't
said,
get. He couldn't utilize it. I mean,
you
it was
just
still
said
there.
what you just said. Look, with all those toys and weapons, where was those weapons that when you went 0-4 when it's come crunch time to get into the playoffs? They only got into the playoffs because of Pittsburgh couldn't hold that end of the deal. If Pittsburgh would have hold that end of the deal, Miami wouldn't have been in the playoffs. Now we
And
can
why
just
is that? Why is that?
why is what?
They didn't. They wouldn't have made it in the playoffs. What was the problem? The line. He couldn't get the ball to the receivers because the receivers was on the
But you
field.
saying weapons though. We talking about weapons. If you talking about if we can throw any quarterback down there, how come
Right.
Tua couldn't succeed with those weapons? How come Sam I forgot that what's the dude named
Tyler
Thompson?
Thompson.
Tyler Thompson couldn't succeed in that offense. Now don't get me wrong, Shorty did put up some points to make Miami relevant, but at the same time, it didn't look as good as you would have thought Tua would have did or Tua did in the beginning of the season. You can't just throw any old body in there and thinking it's going to look good. Just because it looks good on paper doesn't mean it's going to look good on the field.
Let me tell you this though. Why? Let me get in this and deflect what you're saying because I feel like with that Mike McDaniel's offense, that you know what I mean, that Shanahan offense, getting that ball quick, it would help Lamar out. You know what I mean? It would help his progress getting that ball out quick with that. You know what I mean? With them playmakers. You look at Brock Purdy. You don't think Lamar could do that?
I know he can, but how
Snap that
come?
shit out quick.
But if that was the case,
Look,
how come the fourth string quarterback couldn't do the same thing in San Francisco when it was time for him to move up? Since that play style is so easy to adjust to get into.
Tua was also holding that ball long, man. Let's be real. Tua
Right.
have
Tua
a
ain't
problem
no
holding that ball.
Jackson. Tua, first of all, Tua ain't no Jackson, and I don't even think Tua's a Pruitt skill
So
wise.
here's the thing now. If that offensive line is so shitty, don't you think that if since you got Jalen Waddle going so deep and you got Tyreek Hill going so deep, do you think that when that offensive line breaks down, how many times you think Lamar is going to run the game? How many times he's going to get it out to those weapons if he can't get it out to him with that offensive line? So you telling me, so now we just seen that dink and dunk doesn't work up in New England because Mac Jones and Zach Bailey couldn't do the dink and dunk all year long for them to get them in the playoffs.
Come on, Dev. Come on,
You
Dev.
started it.
Dev,
You
Dev,
started it.
Dev, let me tell you.
You started it.
Let me take
You
your chicken box
started
away
it.
from you now.
You started
Let
it.
me take that Baltimore chicken box out your hand now.
You started it. You started.
Let me say
But
this.
no. But if you think, look at
You won 6 Super Bowls, dick and
but
dunking.
let's just keep it real though with Mac Jones. But that dink and dunk game didn't work. I believe if New England had a deeper threat to somebody they can throw it downfield to, it would be a different Mac Jones. But since New England ain't drafting a big time wide receiver to go downfield, it's a dink and dunk type of game, and it didn't work for New England. So a dink and dunk is not going to work all the way. Just like how that dink and dunk, the 49ers couldn't dink and dunk their way into the Super Bowl. It's not going to work. A dink and dunk offense is not going to work. You got to have eventually that explosive guys downfield. AJ Brown.
So
Downfield.
when Matt Jones had that really good season, that he had one good season, that you know what I'm saying,
Didn't
he
win him
didn't
a
have
Super
no
Bowl. It didn't win him a Super Bowl.
He wasn't even supposed to go to the Super Bowl. We talking about Matt Jones and going to taking over for Tom Brady, who's the master of the deke and dunk. That's his thing, you know. But
Right.
with Matt Jones, he had that last year. This last season wasn't a good year. They had bringing the second quarterback and all that shit. So for whatever reasons, I didn't follow New England. I didn't fuck with them all like that. But one would think I do recall Matt Jones having a really great year. What is this? His second year or his third year?
I think it was his rookie year, man.
Okay, yeah, but he didn't have those weapons. He didn't have those deep threats then, did he? But he put up a decent enough year to be labeled as the starting quarterback. We got our quarterback.
10-7. First season, 10-7.
But then he hit that rookie wall.
Right, he hit the rookie wall.
Once he hit the rookie wall,
you're saying that he didn't flourish in the system because he didn't have that deep threat. I'm saying like his rookie year, that one good year that he had, he didn't have. I don't think he had that same deep threat that he was missing. But I think what happened is he couldn't execute the dink and dunk because that's just not his style. Like you said, he need that long. He seemed like he got that big arm. Alabama, they going deep. He got those fast receivers. He ain't had that. So when you got those fast receivers that spread the field off, you ain't got to do the little dink and dunk. That's not what you do. That's not your bread and butter. That's not what you used to. But when you ain't got that, then now he got to adapt. And it's evident that he couldn't adapt because now there's a quarterback situation down in New England. You feel what I'm saying?
No, I think it's the main thing about the play calling. Matt Patricia was calling the plays, man. That's not a smart decision. That's not a smart decision. If you are a barber, right, I can't expect you to do surgery. You know what I mean? That shit does not make sense.
You can do surgery on your hairline. He can do surgery.
I don't expect you to be a fucking veterinarian. You know what I mean? It does not make sense. So Bill Belichick got too cocky last year. You know what I mean? He fucked up. So he called his big home. He called a little homie at Alabama. Bill, come back. You know what I mean? I'll make you assistant head coach. You know what I mean? You get the knowledge. When I retire, you can have the position. That's what they look. That's what white people do. To look after the homeboy when he retired. I'm gonna put you in a position because I'm moving up front office. Bill don't got too much longer. Bill's in his 70s. He ain't trying to coach too much longer.
He shouldn't. He got to pick. I think that's what's New England problem. I think he has to pick a job. He has to either be your GM or be your head coach.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It worked for some time, but this shit, you know what I mean. Unless we get a big name receiver, I don't see nothing change. Maybe 9 wins next year. Like we need a big time receiver. If you want to give D Hop on a rental, I'm all down for it. You know what I mean. You got to get another big time. I like Thornton, but you need one of them. You know what I mean. One of them stretchers to stretch the field. But let's get to this job. Morant 2 games suspended.
Oh yeah, let's get to that.
Like, do you feel like this is right for him to only get 2 games suspension?
No.
Flashing a gun.
No.
Like, I think it was a light smack on the wrist.
He needs to. Remember when Gilbert Arenas did that whole bullshit with the gun and shit, and then he ended up doing a little pregame celebration in the circle and shooting guns and shit. Yeah. John Morant is getting out of control. He getting beside himself. He a corny ass nigga. First and foremost, he's corny. That's corny as fuck.
Hit them bullets. Hit them bullets.
I'm shooting at this nigga. Right. He a corny ass nigga. So you playing basketball at your home, and little 17-year-old, you piss him off.
Oh my God!
You threw the ball at him, hit him in the chest. He picked the ball up and hit you in the fucking face. And then you gonna ask your boy, should I do it? His boy's a bitch ass nigga. He ain't his friend. He ain't his friend because a real friend is like, nah, Rod, man, spare that kid. You already know the consequences right now, bro. You know what's gonna happen.
Damn, son.
A celebrity put your hands. If a celebrity, that right there is one of the American dream pie. You know what the American pie is? The American dream is?
Yeah.
It's a lawsuit. Ain't no hitting the lotto. The lotto is the lawsuit. So niggas be looking for niggas to do what they gonna, trying to provoke a nigga to put them hands on it. Yeah,
He was stupid. So he gonna act. That's like me. All three of us getting in we together, and me and my brother, we get into it, and I do some shit, and he turn around and asks you, should I do it? And you say, yeah, do it. And then next thing you know, you got a lawsuit against you, my nigga. And you got charges, and you got suspended, and all that. Now, that was the first corny ass move. The second corny ass move, when he beat him up, he go in the house and get a goddamn gun. For what? To put on a show. He clout chasing. He perked the fuck out. That's what he do. Somebody need to smack the fuck out of him. They need to dog him in the NBA. Nigga, you a bitch.
Congratulations.
You a bitch.
God damn.
So he should have got more than that, man. 2 days. He should got more, man. You got to set example for these stupid ass niggas. You got to make examples out of these stupid ass niggas with all these motherfucking power in situations. Yeah, man. He should got at least he should have no pay for 5 games.
God damn.
So let everybody else know, if you want to act tough and you want to do all this extra shit, yeah, we got something for you. Look what happened to Gilbert. You'll find yourself out. They don't play that shit. This is a league. In this rules, you can't do shit. Look at Kyrie and all them motherfuckers, man. You can't do shit. All you're supposed to do is just come and play. Come and play. That's it. Entertain, play, and make them money. Anything else, man, y'all doing too much. And Durant and Ja, he doing too fucking much, man. Look at all his clips on the shit that he been into. You know, this one dude fouled him. You know how motherfuckers foul you and then grab you to make sure you cool. You know, he grabbed dude and, you know, Ja pushing off in the hand, then he take the ball and push it in his face. Like, that shit ain't even necessary. He a necessary ass bitch ass nigga.
Let Dev tackle it. Let Dev tackle it now. Go ahead, Dev. What you think about this situation, man? Damn, that motherfucker.
I don't even know how to back that up.
I was waiting for that. I was waiting. I was like, we've been talking about football for 24 minutes. Let's go.
Woo! This is too hot for me to touch. Go ahead, man. That's hotter than the Baltimore City crack pipe right now.
Who is it? Is it? Yeah.
That shit pissed me off. I hate it when brothers get the bag and the power and the opportunity and they take it and they do dumb shit. I hate that shit. Like, you one of the blessed billion motherfucking human beings that got the opportunity.
Damage.
God damn. Go ahead, Dev. Hit that shit.
Number one, 2-game suspension. I'm cool with it. Hear me out, fellas. Hear me out. I'm cool with it only for the simple fact because that was the first thing that we seen him incriminate himself with. Well, everything that you just stated. Him beating up the little kid, the minor kid.
That's right there.
Him pointing the laser pointing at the Pacers team and all that stuff. All that stuff is alleged. Can't prove that it was him. Only thing you can say was, I think it was him. You know what I mean? That's one. Hold on. It's like nothing was concrete evidence. We ain't got out of all these ages and days now. Everything get put on video. So even the Jordan Poole and Draymond Green tape got leaked out. So if he allegedly supposed to have been punching this minor kid, where's the video? Because I know it should be if they was hooping against each other, and if I'm that minor kid and I think I can beat Ja, I'm recording it. Because if I do beat you, I'm putting it all out there. I just beat an NBA player, and the way he do professionally, it's going out there. Unless you make me sign an NDA, and the only way I'm signing that NDA is you're going to have to give me a couple mil, because now this is my career. You got your career, you got your fame. Now let me get mine. So you telling me there's no tape and no evidence and nothing of that of him and Shorty getting into the squabble, or him and Shorty getting into a pickup game, whatever the situation is. Now it leads up to him showing that he's putting the gun up to his face on Instagram Live. Yeah, now once you show me all that stuff that you did, yeah, now you get your suspension. The other two stuff, I can't prove it. So how can I find you guilty if I can't prove it? Gilbert Arenas, you brought up the Gilbert Arenas situation. You know why Gilbert kind of killed his career? My man actually burned the gun inside the locker room and started showing players. You know what I mean? Now, if you bring it, you bring it. If I don't know nothing about it, then I don't know nothing about the story. But once you in the locker room, you start flashing and you start doing all this other stuff. Now, I'm pretty sure that me, now as your teammate, I'm not going to snitch on you. As long as you don't pull it out on me and use it on me, I don't have nothing to do with you and your gun. But I guarantee you, the equipment manager, the towel boy, or anybody else that's not about that life feels threatened. And I'm pretty sure they're gonna say, "Yo, I just seen Gilbert in there waving guns at people and stuff. I don't feel safe coming to work now." That's probably the reason why how Gilbert got attacked. And then for Gilbert, for being the young, immature person that he was at that time, he came out and celebrated about it. It's like, dog, you just got caught with a gun in your locker room and you come out and make a mockery of it. Yeah, that's why the NBA says, since you want to make fun of us or something that we warned you and we told you not to do, you got to go now. You know what I mean? Now, I don't agree with the NBA fully putting him out the league for that. I believe if you're going to put him out, you do the same thing that you did with the Malice in the Palace. You give him a certain amount of time to think about it, and then let him come back to try to see did he change or anything in that nature. Give him a second chance. But as far as Ja, he deserved a 2-game suspension. Now, because now he's looking at his career in jeopardy. It's like, damn, what do I need to do to change this real quick? Because it has to be quick, because you got to remember, Nike just signed you to the shoe deal. They just kicked Kyrie off because he wasn't the guy that everybody wants him to be. You know what I mean? Everybody's now looking up to Ja. Everybody loves the Ja. What was his slogan 2 years ago? I'm with all the smoke. I'm coming through the chimney and all that other stuff. Everybody loved that because he knew that at that time he is the villain of the NBA. He's the bad guy of the NBA. Everybody loves the bad guy in the villain of the NBA because they so unapologetic. I don't have to apologize to you for me being the bad guy. You wrote me to be this guy, so why should I apologize for it? Now, the corny and the clownish stuff, yes, I agree with you with it. Why is you going on live doing all this stuff? What is your point? Is you trying to make it, is you trying to show a point because people were just making fun of you 2 weeks ago, talking about doing off the 8 Mile stuff? You know, he grew up in a real good marriage in the parent house, and he's not who he is, and his name is really not Ja. I understand that, like, people trying to make.
What's wrong with that? What's wrong with having 2 parents?
That's the whole, and that's why I'm going at. Because honestly, I would have loved growing up into a 2-parent household. You know what I mean?
He portraying himself as if he grew up in a rough life,
and it's not. If
you, and it ain't laying like that.
Look, if Will Smith can make it through all these damn years for being the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and the corny guy and all this other stuff, what's wrong with it? It's nothing wrong with it. You never heard Denzel Washington get into any other bullshit because he's the corny guy, but inside the movies, he can portray to be anybody he wanted to be. But I guarantee you, outside, he's probably the corny guy that just go to the Lakers game whenever he get the chance to. You know what I mean?
Check this out. I feel your scenario and feel what you're saying and whatnot with the cameras and whatnot. Okay, this is, first of all, you gotta ask how many people were at this little small event at Ja Morant's house.
Now, I guarantee you, with the type of person he is, I guarantee it was a group. It wasn't just 10 people. I guarantee.
No, I wouldn't say 10 people, but still, most of them, I would say, is he ain't bring a whole bunch of strangers in there, as far as the audience and whatnot. So if that goes down, I mean, only way that's gonna find out if that actually happened is the dude win the lawsuit. Because everything's gonna come out when you know what I'm saying, the charge when the accusations come out, and everybody gonna know what it is. So as far as the video not being established and all that other stuff, you know, if he ain't got a case, if that's the case, he ain't got a case because you gotta have proof. Right. So we gotta wait on that. But you know, with Ja, reason why I say 2 games is that's sufficient enough. That's good enough for him putting his hands. You know, you're a professional. You're 7 years older than this dude. You know, so that right there, you can't do that. So we're gonna give you 2 days, 1 day, 2 days suspension. But when he went to go get the gun, and on top of that, he went, you know, him being at the strip club and on live and showed the gun and whatnot, the strip club, that right there, the situation in in I think it was Indiana, where his mom had a conflict with one of the salespeople at the shoe store. She calls him, he bring his entourage, and the security dude get a couple lumped up in the heads, and they got John record talking about what time he get off and all that other goofy ass shit. I'm looking at the combined in his behavior in the NFL, he out of control. So when you 2 games is not enough for him to, for them to discipline. He's been doing too much. That's why I disagree with the 2 games. It should be more.
I'm with you on that.
Example, he is the face. He could be one of the faces of the NBA. He has MVP potential. And with him being when you in that position, you got to conduct yourself a certain way. Like, he ain't the average NBA. He's a megastar. He's the rise to be a megastar just off of who he is. And then this whole mentality that they have down in Memphis, where who was it, Jalen Rose, before the season started, he was like, yeah, there's gonna be some problems somewhere. It's boiling up. I see it coming. And they like, where? He's like, Memphis. Before the season started off, he planted the seed that Memphis is gonna be a problem, because with them too, who is it? Ja and what, Bang?
Oh, you talking about Dylan
Brooks. Yeah, them two. Them two is a problem for real. They causing a negative cloud. They're forming they form a negative cloud around Memphis.
But
so yeah, John's getting out. He's getting this shit is getting to his head. He came from Wichita. Ain't that what college he came from? Wichita State?
No. He came from Murray State.
Murray State. It's still Wichita, Murray. It ain't no Kansas. It ain't no Duke or no big one. He came from that, and then he get the spotlight, and it seemed like the nigga don't know how to handle the shit. He's doing too much.
And that's what it is right there. When you young and you kind of immature, the spotlight gets big. When you the guy at first, your pops and your moms is taking care of you. And then now you make it so big that you're the breadwinner. You're the guy that got to take care of moms and pops and everybody else in the family. You know what I mean? That's a lot of pressure to be.
And they condoning the shit. They condoning the shit. They'll call him. They know what their son is all about. Why mom call him? Like, you put your son in the situation because you don't give a fuck. Just because you beefing with somebody and things don't go your way, you gonna call your son and your crazy ass son and his crazy ass entourage. Now it's a whole situation. Like that, his parents they seem like they push that shit. They promote that shit. Look at his dad. I mean? His dad and Shannon Sharp. Ja, that was between Dylan and Shannon Sharp. Then here come Ja, and then come his dad. Come on now, they corny. They all corny. The mama corny, the daddy corny, and Ja corny. It's a trifecta of corny.
Let me let's jump off that shit before we get out of here. I got another couple questions, and we gotta get the fuck out of here because I got a wife duties, honey to do list. You know what I mean? I ain't trying to get my eyes black like Krishanda because I got Krishanda at the house.
You know, anyway, because you got to ask permission to go outside.
Right. You got to ask permission to go to the bathroom.
Hey, sometimes I just use the cat litter. I was pissing cat litter, but this is a different story. Dev, we both Laker fans. Do you see us making the playoffs, man?
Yes, it's going to go through the play-in now.
God,
it's going to go through because I can see some of the teams starting to fall off. Like one of the teams that I had high hopes on in New Orleans, they starting to fall off.
Zion ain't coming back. He ain't coming back.
It's almost to the point that if you're not close enough, why would you put Zion? Why would you bring Zion back?
So
I think Utah is going to also fall off. So and Portland is kind of that back and forth team right now. So I think that's the only way that the Lakers can slide in is because teams are gonna start falling off at the wrong time.
If they had LeBron, I don't see it. If they had LeBron, I'll see it that way. But Bron being out 3 weeks, AD being suspect, and that brand new core still gelling, I don't see it.
Okay.
I see the Lakers falling off. Just because of LeBron not being there. If LeBron was there and the pieces start gelling in and he stays healthy, I mean AD stays healthy, it would be no problem. They're gonna make it. But LeBron is that's huge. 3 weeks, that's huge. This is the stretch. This is the NBA stretch. 3 weeks. Yeah, a team can fall off 1 week and then turn around and pick it back up or close out and push for that last position. Who's in the playoff, the race for the final, the play-in games?
And that's why I was just saying how you got Utah sitting at number 9, and I think I don't have my phone out here with me.
OKC, can't forget them.
They falling off too.
They only falling off. They only felt. I fuck with them on the gambling side, and they only been falling off. They got their longest losing streak. They just snapped it, but that's only because Shea went there. He's been injured the last 5 games.
Right.
But when he in there, they
the Lakers just beat them without Shea. So I don't think
the Lakers couldn't beat them.
The Thunder no more.
The Lakers couldn't beat them on the most important day of LeBron's life. He had 2 chances. I knew LeBron wasn't going to go 2-0 when he broke the record. He wasn't going to win.
Yeah, you know,
Shea was there. They can't fuck with OKC.
They built that shitty ass team in the beginning of the season. That was their fault.
Yeah, I don't see. You got them 2. Minnesota, are they in or they're planning to be in?
They in the play-in. They like sitting at number.
They're definitely gonna win. They're definitely, without them having a star player and them still rolling. They just upset somebody last night.
They beat the Lakers the other night.
Now I'm talking about last night too. Who they beat?
I don't know.
I don't follow the Timberwolves.
They beat somebody, but they're definitely gonna be in.
I think they did not beat the Clippers.
No, they played somebody last night because they killed my ticket.
The Clippers they lost to
the Kings.
Yeah.
Never mind. But before we get out of this,
they beat the Kings. They beat the Kings. And that's hard because the Kings are tough at home.
They the best California team right now.
So Minnesota's gonna be there. I believe Minnesota's gonna be there. Utah, tilting. They can go either or. Lakers, I don't see. New Orleans, I don't see. Who else is there?
But before we get out of here, just let the people know where they can get at you, man. You know what I mean? Whoever want to go first.
I always go first.
All right.
My shit's short anyway.
All right. You can catch me, My Thoughts, My Opinions, sports podcast on Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Good Pods, anywhere you can get your podcast platforms. Since I'm on here with my man Rod get the exclusive right now. My Thoughts, My Opinion drop days has changed, and Rod, you get the first one, yo. Is now from Tuesdays. I'm going to be dropping my episodes on Thursdays now. So you heard it here first. I'm dropping my episodes now on Thursday. So be on the lookout on that. You can follow my Instagram at right here on the screen at MTMO_sports podcast. You can follow my Twitter and Facebook at my THTS, my opinion. Just check me out, man. Check me out. I'm always dropping that dope content. Raw, I can tell you. Right now I'm on episode my 99th thought is out right now. Check it out. It's talking about drug tests that's going on. I think it's unfair how Dame Lillard got drug tested after the 71 point. How Byron Jones saying how the NFL is pretty much
script.
Yeah, it's pretty much how these doctors is not giving you the right call on the first shot. They giving you all these pills and all these injections, and right now Byron Jones can't even run or jog right now.
Yeah.
And also I also talked about Ja Morant a little bit, getting into it with that minor.
All right, go ahead, Jamar.
Jarrell Lamar, the way the name is spelled. Facebook, Instagram is Jarrell Baby June. Email is Jarrell Lamar 21 2 L's at Yahoo. So I'm all about guessing. You need a guess, hit me up. I like the experience and I like the different avenues and platforms that I'll be on.
Okay. You're a little more relaxed today. I'm glad you want to relax. You got your yoga.
Man, hey, on some real shit, man. I like dude. I appreciate you, man. You know how to conduct a conversation and we get our points out and get some clear understanding. That other one, yeah, man, never again. I was so close to cussing that motherfucker out, bro. For real, for real. You see me though, bro. I did good. I'm proud of myself because there's about 5 different times I wanted to tell him shut the fuck up. Let me talk.
This is the most uncensored. This is the most uncensored sport talk radio show podcast on YouTube. You know what I mean?
I can tell you, it ain't scripted. I can tell you that.
Nah.
This shit ain't scripted. It's got to be on Roku. It can't be on no national TV.
Nah.
I talk too crazy for that.
But let me get this. Congratulations to John Jones for defeating, the big French boy yesterday. Congratulations. And also, man, congratulations to Josh Gordon. Good Lord, this motherfucker has
sir.
Benjamin Buttons. I never see somebody play with pride. God damn, I know the NFL gonna be like, can we talk? Like Tevin Campbell. This motherfucker looking good. You know what I mean? Like, the little weed charges. You know what I mean? Everybody know Charles Haley and LT was, doing that coke from Peru.
Already.
And Michael Irvin. Let this boy come back. But tomorrow, come check me out Monday. We're gonna have swag homies. We're gonna talk about swag basketball, HBCU basketball. We're gonna talk a little bit of football. Also I got my morning show on, tomorrow morning, midday sports with Rod and the lunch crew. So come tap in with me. I appreciate y'all fellas coming in. You know what I mean? Brother Lamar got his yogurt and his Black & Mild. I knew today was gonna be good. I knew he had a grape soda.
I had to make an exception. I was feeling it. I wish I had a cigar.
Hey, put me on the show, my man Jamal, any day, man. I'm with it.
Right. Appreciate it.
All right, and I appreciate y'all fellas. And we about to get out of here. You about to get out of here because I don't want to get my ass whooped, man. So let me put my quick little shit on and let me get out of here.
Right.